Alright, so we're going to take a look at how to use diskpart.exe to create a bootable volume. And basically it will just be a formatted partitioned volume ready for an operating system or whatever else you want to copy to it. So let's look at diskpart. It's in my path, so I can go ahead and just call the exe like this. And it brings us into diskpart's own console. And what you'll notice about diskpart is that it can be used for a lot of things. So just to let you know, we're using a very small subset of diskpart commands. But first, what we want to do is find out what disks are available for us to format. So I'm going to list the disks, and you'll see we have two. 500 is my local hard drive, and disk 1 is the USB stick, and we're gonna work with that. So what I want to do now is select that disk. So I'm going to select disk 1, and we are now working within the realm of disk 1. So anything we do, we are protected. It will only happen to disk 1. And the first thing we want to do to disk 1, oh, let me just show you this real quick. You'll see that disk 1 currently, it is formatted. It's formatted with a FAT file system. That is about to change, and we'll use that as the benchmark for seeing the changes that we are making. So what we want to do first is clean the drive, and this is going to remove any logical associations on there. And next, what we want to do is create a new primary partition. So create part pry. So you don't have to type out the full word. You can type out the minimum amount of letters to make it a unique command. So in this case, create part pry works, and we have created a primary partition. And now we want to select that partition. So we're going to select partition 1 because it's the only one on there. And now we are working within the realm of partition 1, and whatever we do will only happen to partition 1. So it gives you that added extra bit of safety. So now we want to make this a bootable volume. So I'm going to just say active, and it's an active volume now. And now we want to actually format the partition. So we're going to format it, and then we say file system is equal. So in this case, we're going to make it FAT32 just so we can see the change, and you can also give it the quick parameter so you don't have to sit there and wait. So now it's going to go ahead and format, and we're done formatting. And I guess the only thing we need to do left is assign it a drive letter. So I'm going to do assign letter equal to, let's do H. Successfully assigned, and we're done with diskpart, so we can go ahead and exit out of it, and then just type exit, and that's it. We've left diskpart. Let's come back over here and take a look. It is now drive H, FAT32 file system. So that's diskpart, and that's how to prepare a bootable volume, and this can be used mostly I made this video to show how to create a bootable WinPE USB stick, and also how to format or prepare a hard drive to have an operating system deployed to it via the WIM imaging process. And what I just showed you actually works for both instances that I described, whether you want to deploy an operating system or whether you want to create a bootable USB drive. So in this case, we just created a USB drive. If I wanted to, I could come, if you saw the last video about WinPE, I could come to my ISO folder that contains my WinPE files, and I can copy all the files in here onto the USB drive that I just formatted and created a bootable USB stick. It would boot into WinPE in the very same way that the ISO that we created booted in the virtual machine. So USB sticks are much more flexible because you can copy files to them, and they're usually much larger. So Let's take a look at one more thing that you can do with DiskPart though, and this is what comes in handy when you want to automate deployment of operating systems. So DiskPart has a command line parameter. Oh, what am I doing? It has a command line parameter called /s, and that allows you to provide a script for DiskPart to use to perform whatever it's going to do. So in this case here, you'll see that I have this script, and it does all of the same things that we did before. It selects disk 1, it cleans it, it creates the primary partition, marks it as active. In this case, we're formatting it to NTFS, and the letter is L. So let's go ahead and provide this script to DiskPart and see if we get the same outcome. DiskPart/s maxd DiskPart script. Okay, selected the disk. It's formatting. Taking a little bit longer there. NTFS has got a little bit more to it, and it has mounted. So let's now go back and take a look at our USB stick. So you'll see it's formatted. It's got the NTFS file system, and DiskPart was able to start with a script that we wrote, and then it exits back out and gives control back to the command line, so you can continue automating your deployments with ImageX. And yeah, that's it. That's DiskPart. So it's a really handy tool, and there's a lot more you can do with it, and it's small. It's a executable, so it's good to have in the toolbox. And that's it. Thanks for watching.